And today we come to share the wisdom of soul technology. And this is really a transmission from multidimensional oneness field, the collective unified field, and the cosmic consciousness awareness that this oneness transmission imparts, expands our higher consciousness and universal awareness around the nature of the soul, as well as the collective soul reality in the greater spectrum of oneness. So it's really the intention is to set a better consciousness grasp of the various levels of aspects of the universal soul reality and understanding in the spiritual experience and in life. So it also represents sacred knowledge and engagement, as we connect deeper with our nature. And we begin by breathing and exhaling through your heart, rhythmically breathing in and out, and in and out through your heart. And as the energy of your breath is passing in and out through your heart center, imagine a pranic wind that is fanning an etheric sacred fire. And this fire starts as a deep red color and slowly, deeply and rhythmically passing the pranic wind across it with your breath. And it starts glowing brighter and brighter, becoming a brilliant white diamond. And this brilliant white diamond, multifaceted diamond, then bursts into a white flame. And this is the flame of love within the heart. It is the divine heart seed of the Mestra molecule. So holding the intent that all beings who are needing to connect with this vibration and energy are now being connected to the crystalline web of life through your heart. And these beings are only aspects of yourself in different planes of existence, and as you connect with them through the crystalline web of life, there is a resonance of love, and you give them access to everything that you access today in divine grace. We send love to that crystallized web of life, and we begin to understand we begin with the understanding that the stars themselves are great celestial beings. They're great bodies of light, and they come into manifestation as a result of the interwoven crossing of several rays of light. And in the case of stars, like our sun, it's only 2 rays. The beings these rays represent for our star sun have been known as Helios and Vesta. And these great celestial beings that we know as stars are working directly with the 144,000, the radiant ones of the 11th dimension and the 12th dimension, and they become vessels of source, bringing through new realities, birthing them into existence. And the radiant group really emits a flame geometry from the heart and the mind of the light of God, the light of source. And when a soul reaches the end of this journey in an individualized reality, it's absorbed by the field of radiance into source and into absolute totality. And this sets forth a series of things It's never a single soul being absorbed. It is generally huge numbers of souls that are moving through at the same time. So as they do, this new raw flame geometries are birthed through the heart and the mind of Source. They're absorbed. And they absorb these souls back into the totality. So there's a new reality potential emerging that comes across the infinite iron membrane to the radiant ones. So the stars, as great celestial beings, receive these new flame geometries. Then various dynamics manifest. And what these dynamics are is depending on the dimensional register of the star and the higher mandate that's controlling the system that is within. So there is a common dynamic to all of them, and this involves the conversion and the integration of these primal flame geometries into mutated or evolved versions of the existing reality systems that the stars facilitate. So the stars serve the Source as primary creation birthing nodes or portals for the Source, emerging as souls in the field of resonance. And stars birth new energy patterns, and they birth new elements, and they are birthing new souls in consciousness itself. And the stars create this energy that is undulated in a frequency emission that creates waves, interference patterns within the universe. And these waves and interference patterns create planets within the star systems, and they also emanate and create wave patterns, and they contribute to the creation of other stars and other celestial beings, bodies. And these have a wave frequency pattern. This wave frequency pattern also contribute to the installed beings within the star-owned energy systems being birthed. So as part of these energetic, there are some foundational energy patterns that are brought fully into differentiation through the activity of a star to the great celestial being that it represents. So we need this manifesting as the birthing of a new element or the continuing generation of existing elements. And these stars are, as our science actually knows, birth various different forms and variations of the elements. What science currently does not recognize is the dimensional register of these elements, because there are higher dimensional variations. Most people really, there are such a lot of dimensional variations. So as souls are absorbed through the radiance field back into the totality, which is the unmanifested universe, a new flame, energeometric, is issued forth from the Source and back into the manifestation, creation. And these new flame geometries are received into the heart of the stellar celestial beings we know as stars. And this is one of the great mysteries. The stars' new reality database are being updated in this process constantly. And these flame geometries move across the membrane of the radiant field into the heart of the star. And there is a matrix within the stars, which we call the database. And its frequency codes are updated with these flames. And these new souls are birthed out of the reality codes. And they are birthed during a time when very cosmic triggers initiate soul birthing events. And these new souls that are birthed then carry the frequency signature of the updated reality database that it's held in that Om star. So if your Om star is bigger, then you carry on the reality updates of that database. The cosmic moment in which they are birthed, the souls are birthed within that database, holds a key, and that's your frequency signature. You've heard about frequency signatures of souls. We design frequency signatures as portrait artists and light codes. So the cosmic moment in which the soul is birthed from that database of the star is the frequency signature that the soul will carry through the universe. And the soul can mutate this frequency as well. So there's always be a base frequency pattern which was formed in the soul's birthing event that never changes universally. So when we're birthing souls, a star puts forth two great luminous superluminal arcs of light. So then the birthing of the soul originates, and there's two arcs of beautiful light, and these two luminous arcs of light are emitted by the star, and they are triggered by a cosmic energy event. And when this happens, the star opens its entire being as a vessel of souls, and this represents the divine feminine birthing mode of a star, and the souls are birthed. And they are birthed sometimes through events. Normal soul birthing events, for example, occur in a regular cycle of the universe. They produce soul energies, and souls that are birthed in these events represent the newest layer of the foundational soul bedrock forming in that universe. And there's a number of souls that are birthed at the same time. There's no mathematical pattern that governs the number. It's always determined by the current cosmic circumstances. So the change of energy carried within the soul part being birthed is a soul specific. So the charge varies greatly between soul birthing events. So between one soul birthing event and the other, there's a fluctuation. There's an initial charge, and then that charge is mutable. So the souls are attuned and adapt well to circumstances. And this actually comprises most souls in multidimensional universe. And these souls are able to shift and to be very fluid. What is happening in the universe? The way the universe creates its bedrock is not quite the same as the earth creates it. It is the way the universe creates its bedrock. Is not. It is a foundational energy, but it's fluid, and it's kind of a volcanic lava. We could make it. And that's usually the normal birthing event. But then we have the master soul birthing events. And these type of soul birthing events are from specific stars at specific times. And not all stars can host that. So this type of soul birthing event produces capstone soul energies. And the normal birthing events are at the base of the pyramid. So the master soul birthing events are capstone soul energies, and these soul birthed in these events represent a matrix of higher potentials encoded with the manifested soul universe. And the number of souls birthed in these events is always in the multiples of 144,000. And there are specific like mathematics and algorithms that govern that, and the energy charge carried with these soul parts is part specific and soul specific. as much as the individual sojourns through the universe. It is much steadier. And then we have the quantum soul birthing events. And the quantum soul birthing events can occur within a star, any star. And they only occur at key times when the entire universe is making a quantum leap. Like now, at the moment on Earth, the entire universe is making a quantum leap by mutating key light mathematics and algorithms within its fractal equations. So, what is happening now? We are in a time period in the unfoldment of the universe right now. Therefore, souls that are being birthed now are being birthed as quantum soul birthing through a quantum soul event. And this will be going on for some time, maybe even hundreds of years. This soul birthing, very mutative type of soul energies. They hold the memory of the mutative quantum leap that we're birthed in. So it's like a fabric of the whole soul being in an harmonic bridge from one fractal reality system into another, and they hold this bridging matrix within their soul frequencies. An example of how expansive this kind of soul energies is, for example, if we speak about an archangel energy in its original form to present an expanded program of light. And we can't even conceive that on Earth. Yet the being with that program of light administers not only one program of light, but one program within larger programs of light in the celestial spectrum. It's all relative. The Elohim intelligence, which is more expansive, for example, and even more intergalactic. And these are the Elohim extensive energies are birthed in these quantum leap soul birthing events. So the Elohim intelligence is usually birthed not even through a star in these quantum leap events. It's birthed through source, through that radiant unified field, just prior to the universe being populated by souls. And the Elohim intelligence is the highest level, the Eid intelligence of the Elohim intelligence. And it sustains the whole multiverse for its entire lifespan. And there are souls in your earth that are part of that came from that source spectrum. And then we have the soul-sibling relationships. So within any given soul birthing event, we also have soul-sibling relationships. So they are quite profound. This knowledge and awareness really expands the whole concept of what we call the twin ray. So there's arc affinities. Are you a soul sibling that were birthed on the same polarity arc? Were you birthed in the same polarity arc? So remember, there's the two arcs of illuminated light coming out of the star. And imagine in your mind soul that you are lined up along these two arcs. And it's probably not quite like this, but for linear minds, that this is very helpful. All the souls that are in the same polarity arc are your arc affinities. So these kinds of soul relationships are like soul brothers and sisters, star kindred and primary family. And there are the other levels of star kin and family in the soul brother-sister dynamic that are possible. So So these come directly from your soul birthing event. Typically, arc affinity relationships do not generate male or female significant other type of relationships. Trans-arc affinities are all the souls that were birthed in your soul birthing event on the opposite side of the polarity. And they are lined up along the other arc, and they are in the opposite polarity from your soul as the souls come out of the oneness and emerge into a polarized creation. And these arc affinities are typically the relationships that relate as twin flames or twin soul relationships. And you can have many, many, many. So it's information that is not well communicated in your earth. You can have many thousands and even millions of trans-arc affinities depending on the size of the event. So twin rays are the souls that are birthed in the exact same polarity position on the opposite arc, just opposite each other, so to speak. And they are direct mirror opposites, and that is your one and only true twin ray. However, mostly that we experience as twin ray relationships on this planet are trans-arc affinities. So, and the Unified Council has related that it is extremely rare for twin rays to meet on the physical plane of manifestation within a density like we have on Earth. This is because the mirroring of the opposite light polarity energies is so intense that you would actually need to be at the level of millions of trans-arc affinities depending on the size of your soul event. And there are so strong connections between souls of the same birthing star that were birthed in different soul birthing events. And these connections often exist between souls and different stars from vastly different places in the universe that have similar resonance patterns with them. And there are all kinds of different possibilities. There are so many different types of anomalies that can occur within the realm of soul polarity and soul birthing. And anomalies typically involve some sort of repolarization or a slant on polarization from what is natural to the soul. There are also strong connections between souls of the same birthing star that were birthed in different soul birthing events. And these connections often exist between souls between different stars from vastly different places in the universe. There are so many types of possibilities and potentials. And before the time of the Earth, there were certain imbalances, forces that were building up within the galaxy. So all souls that were arc affinities within the Sirian system, for example, at the time received a clarion call from the Council of Light in Sirius that went out to all arc affinities. And this clarion call offered them an opportunity to become a trans-arc affinity for a period of time. And one of the souls would assume an opposite polarity to that which was native to them if they accepted. And this, in fact, is what some souls do as couples in relationship. They become arc affinities, assuming a trans-arc affinity relationship to each other to help balance the fields. So universal energies in the galaxy, that is the polarity we entered the Earth experience. Shortly after the Earth was formed, it was only in this lifetime that the soul that had assumed the opposite light polarity returned to the true native polarity. So a member of a divine couple helps to do that, for example. So it gives the vibrational orientation to return into the true polarity in this life as they spend time together. And this shift is fundamental in building and growing and expanding in relationships. So this is the soul nature and reality. The nature of the soul is an important thing to understand. The nature of the soul reality is pure awareness, it's pure love, it's pure unity, it's oneness in essence. Everything else is in a substratum of the soul nature. It's not directly within. So we will cover it in part 2. This was part 1. So part 2 will be about the soul, nature and reality. Sa sai he la hai ha ha